Hi P6 boys and girls, welcome back. This is Michelle again. In this video, we are going to read and identify the use of action verbs. For example, arrive, reach, fight, save, drop, and find. And we are going to learn the use of reporting verbs. For example, ask, reply, and say. Alright, first of all, action verbs. When we are writing a story, we need some action verbs to describe what the characters did. For example, Jim was sailing. Sail is an action verb. Can you find other action verbs in the children's story? For example, fall in past tense, fell. Swim in past tense, swam. Reach in past tense, reached. Appear in past tense, appeared. Fight, past tense, fought. Win, won. Remember, you usually use the past tense form of verbs when we write stories. Okay, please get your textbook ready and turn to page 13, vocabulary. The first action verb, arrived. Arrived means reach a place at the end of journey or stage in a journey. For example, a plane arrived at the airport. Remember to use past tense in the story. The second action verb, appear. Appear means come into sight, become visible or noticeable, especially without apparent cause. For example, fairy godmother appeared and turned Cinderella's rag into dress. Appeared. In past tense, appeared. The third action verb, drop. Drop means let or make something fall vertically. For example, he dropped his keys. Drop in past tense, dropped. The next action verb, fight. That means take part in the violent struggle involving exchange of physical blows or the use of weapons. For example, the girls were fighting. Were fighting is the past continuous tense of fight. The next action verb, win. Win means be successful or victorious in a contest or conflict. For example, I won the Kahoot quiz today. Won is the past tense of win. The next action verb is leave. Leave means go away from. For example, SpongeBob left the room. Left is the past tense of leave. Next, disappear. Disappear means cease to be visible. For example, he disappeared suddenly. Disappeared is the past tense of disappear. The next one is save. Save means keep safe or rescue someone or something from harm or danger. For example, Super Mario saved the princess. Saved is the past tense of save. And the next action verb, find. Find means discover or perceive by chance or unexpectedly. For example, Cinderella dropped her slipper and the prince found it. Found is the past tense of find. And the next one, lose. Lose means no longer have something because you do not know where it is. For example, Alice lost her way in the Wonderland. Lost is the past tense of lose. Alright, let's practice. Complete the sentences. Use the past tense form of verbs. Drop, find, fight, save, lose, win, rub, appear. Question number 1. George was a brave knight who the dragon and the princess. Well done. George was a brave knight who fought the dragon and saved the princess. Are you correct? Question number 2. Aladdin, the magic lamp, and the genie. Good job. Number 2. Aladdin rubbed the magic lamp and the genie appeared. Remember to use past tense form of verbs. Rubbed, appeared. Number 3. The king, the battle, and the giant. The giant became the king of the land. Yes, the king lost the battle, and the giant won. The giant became the king of the land. Lost, won. Number 4. Cinderella dropped her lovely slipper, and the prince it. Yes, well done. Cinderella dropped her lovely slipper, and the prince found it. Number 5. Jim overboard, so he started to swim as hard as he could. He swam and he swam until he an island. Great job! Jim fell overboard, so he started to swim as hard as he could. He swam and he swam until he reached an island. Number 6. The 3 bears, Goldilocks, out of the house and down the garden path, but they didn't her. Yes, the 3 bears chased Goldilocks out of the house and down the garden path, but they didn't catch her. Chased, didn't catch. Number 7. The wizard, his magic wand, and the boy, a frog. Perfect. The wizard waved his magic wand, and the boy turned into a frog. Most of you have done a great job. Perhaps most of you have finished part A of worksheet 8. The next part of this video is to read and identify the use of reporting verbs. Reporting verbs. We use reporting verbs in dialogues when we report what the character said in the story. Reporting verbs can be put before or after the subject. For example, Rapunzel said, "Your teeth are black." Or you may say, "Your teeth are black," said Rapunzel. We can also use different reporting verbs in different situations. For example, when a character is asking a question, Rapunzel asked, "How often do you brush your teeth?" And the next reporting verbs, reply. We may use reply when the character is answering a question. The prince replied, "Once a week." And when the character is telling someone an idea, you may say, suggest. Rapunzel suggested, you ought to brush your teeth twice a day. And the prince said, look, my teeth are clean. And when the prince carries on saying something after a pause, the prince continued, my fingernails are clean too. Alright, can you raise some more examples of reporting verbs? The next reporting verbs is shout. When the character is yelling at someone or saying something loudly, we may use shout. For example, Tommy shouted, you are a naughty boy. And the next reporting verb is cry. When the character is saying something loudly because he or she is dissatisfied or annoyed, we may use cry. For example, the goat cried, oh dear, I can't get out. And the last reporting verbs, whispered. When the character is speaking quietly, we may use whisper. Jenny whispered, let me tell you a secret. Alright, we are now going to finish our worksheet 8, part B. Before doing the worksheet, let's watch a video of a fairy tale, Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack who lived with his poor widowed mother. They had sold almost everything they owned to buy food. When their last cow stopped giving milk, Jack's mother sent him to town to sell it. On the way to town, Jack met a strange fellow who told him stories of magic beans. Where can I buy some of these magic beans for my mother? Asked Jack. I have the last 5 magic beans, and I will sell them to you because you are a good boy. The strange man smiled at Jack. Well, I have nothing but our old cow, and we need the money I would get by selling her for food. The man replied, trust me, my boy, these beans will bring you food and fortune, and your mother will be proud. Jack hesitated, but finally traded the cow for the beans. When Jack returned home, his mother was furious and threw the beans out of the kitchen window crying. Jack went to bed that night, sad and hungry. He woke the next morning to find a huge beanstalk growing in the garden. The beans really are magic, he cried. Jack saw that the stalk reached the clouds. He remembered stories about the clouds containing gold and started climbing the stalk to see what he could find. He climbed and climbed. When he got to the top, he saw a huge castle and headed for it. The door was so big that Jack could crawl beneath it. Once inside, he saw a giant man eating his dinner. When the giant was finished, he called his servant to bring him his bag of gold coins. While counting his money, the giant became drowsy and fell asleep. Jack crept up to the giant and stole his bag of gold. He struggled down the beanstalk with his money, and when he got to the bottom, he called for his mother. Jack's mother was very happy because this money was the same money that the giant had stolen from Jack's father many years ago. But she was also afraid. She knew how dangerous the giant was and made Jack promise he would never go back. Well, Jack did promise. After a while, the money began to run out. Jack began to wonder if he would find anything else in the castle. Once again, Jack decided he would go back up the beanstalk and back to the castle. Once again, he reached the castle and climbed under the castle door. And once again, he found the giant eating dinner at his table. When he was finished this time, however, the giant called for his magic hen. Jack was amazed when he saw the hen lay an egg of pure gold. While the giant was watching the hen, he again became drowsy and fell asleep. Jack crept silently to the table and grabbed the hen. When he returned home, his mother was very angry that Jack had gone back to the castle. She grabbed Jack's axe, intent on cutting the beanstalk down. Jack begged her not to and showed her how the hen could lay golden eggs. Jack's mother put the axe down and watched with delight as the hen laid one beautiful golden egg after another. After a while, Jack's curiosity got the better of him, and he once again thought about what else he could find in the castle. Once again, Jack decided he would go back up the beanstalk and back to the castle. Once again, he reached the castle and climbed under the castle door. And once again, he found the giant eating dinner at his table. And once again, when he was finished this time, however, the giant called for his magic harp. Jack watched as the harp began to play beautiful music all by itself. The music was so beautiful that before long, the lazy giant once again fell fast asleep. Jack crept silently to the table, but as soon as Jack picked up the harp, it began playing very loudly in his strange hands, and the giant awoke. "Fee, fi, fo, fum," yelled the giant, and he chased after the boy and his harp. Jack raced to the beanstalk and slid down. He could feel the stalk shake as the giant began climbing down. Luckily, his axe was nearby, and he began chopping down the beanstalk. The beanstalk shook and cracked under the weight of the giant and Jack's chopping. Finally, the stalk snapped, and the giant fell to earth, never to be seen again. Jack and his mother lived happily ever after. The end.
Do you like the story? Do you think Jack is an honest boy or a clever boy? Right, let's finish part B of our worksheet. Complete sentences use the past tense form of verbs. Cry, ask, reply, shout. Jack, did you sell the cow at the market today? Mom. Cried Mom, asked Mom, replied Mom, or shouted Mom. Remember to use past tense form of verbs. The answer is asked. Mom was asking Jack a question. No, I swapped it for some magic beans. Jack. Cried Jack. Asked Jack. Replied Jack or shouted Jack. Yes. Jack was replying Mom. The answer is replied. You stupid boy. Mom. Now we haven't got any money. She. You stupid boy, shouted Mom. Now we haven't got any money. She cried. Mom was angry with Jack. So we may use cried. Now we haven't got any money. She cried. And the next fairy tale is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Enjoy the video.
Gigabox!
This is the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there was a little girl with golden curly hair whose name was Goldilocks. One day, Goldilocks was playing near her home when she saw a butterfly. She tried to catch it, but the butterfly flew away. So Goldilocks chased it, right down the path and into the forest. Soon Goldilocks was lost, but then she saw a small house in the middle of the woods. Said Goldilocks.
I'm sure whoever lives here will help me find my way back.
Goldilocks knocked on the door 3 times. Knock, knock, knock. And on the third knock, the door swung open.
I don't think anyone is home.
Then she smelled a delicious smell, and her tummy rumbled loudly. So she decided to go inside. On the table in the small house were 3 bowls of porridge. 1 large bowl, 1 medium bowl, and 1 small bowl. Goldilocks was very hungry.
I'm sure whoever lives here won't notice if I have a little bit of this porridge.
First Goldilocks tried a spoonful from the large bowl.
Oh my! This porridge is too hot!
Next, Goldilocks tried a spoonful from the medium bowl.
Ew! This porridge is too cold.
Finally, Goldilocks tried a spoonful from the small bowl.
This porridge is just right.
The porridge in the small bowl was so delicious that she ate it all up. Goldilocks was very tired, so she went into the living room and found 3 chairs. There was a great big wooden chair, a medium pink chair, and a small blue chair.
I'm sure whoever lives here won't mind if I rest for a little while.
First Goldilocks sat in the great big wooden chair.
Oh my! This chair is not comfortable at all.
Next Goldilocks sat in the medium pink chair. She sank deep into the cushions.
Ugh! This chair is too squishy.
Finally, Goldilocks sat in the small blue chair.
This chair is just right.
Just as she settled into the small chair, crack! It broke into pieces right under her.
Uh-oh. Maybe I should just lie down instead.
So Goldilocks went upstairs to a bedroom, where she found a great big bed, a medium bed, and a tiny little bed.
I'm sure whoever lives here won't mind if I take a short nap.
First, she lay in the great big bed.
Oh my! This bed is too hard.
Next, she lay in the medium bed.
This won't do. This bed is too soft.
Finally, Goldilocks lay in the smallest bed. It was the perfect size for a young girl.
This bed is just right.
Goldilocks pulled the blanket over her and soon fell asleep. At the same time, a family of 3 bears came home to their little house in the woods. They were very surprised to see that the front door was already open.
It looks like someone has been eating my porridge,
said Papa Bear as he looked into his large bowl.
It looks like someone has been eating my porridge too,
said Mama Bear as she looked into her medium bowl.
Someone has definitely been eating my porridge. It's all gone,
cried Baby Bear as he looked into his empty small bowl. The 3 bears went into the living room to find out who ate their porridge.
I think someone has been sitting in my chair,
said Papa Bear.
I think someone has been sitting in my chair too,
said Mama Bear.
Someone has definitely been sitting in my chair,
cried Baby Bear.
And they broke it to pieces.
And so the 3 bears went upstairs to find out who had been sitting in their chairs.
I believe someone has been sleeping in my bed,
said Papa Bear.
I believe someone has been sleeping in my bed too,
said Mama Bear.
Someone has definitely been sleeping in my bed,
cried Baby Bear.
And she's still here.
The 3 bears roared, and Goldilocks woke up very suddenly at the sight of 3 angry bears. The little girl jumped up out of her bed and ran down the stairs, through the kitchen, and right out the front door. Goldilocks ran and ran until she was out of the woods and all the way home. From that day on, she never ever went back into the forest, and the 3 bears never ever saw Goldilocks again. The end.
Remember to please like the video and subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated on all our new videos. Bye!
Here we come to the last part of the worksheet. Complete the sentences. Use the past tense form of verbs. Shout, ask, reply. Father Bear opened the door and saw a little girl standing there. Who are you? He shouted, asked, or replied. Yes. Who are you? He asked. I'm Goldilocks. I'm very sorry for breaking the baby bear's chair. She shouted, asked, or replied. Brilliant. She replied. Speak up. I can't hear you. Father Bear. Cried Father Bear. All of you have done a great job. Let's round up what we have learned today. Textbook 6B, Unit 2. The Young Writers Club. Please turn to page 13 and revise the action verbs and the reporting verbs.
Arrive, reach, arrive, reach, arrive, reach, leave, 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 appear, 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 disappear, 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 fight, 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 save, 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 drop, 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 find, 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 win, 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 lose, lose, lose.
Okay, this is the end of this lesson. See you next video. Bye bye.